Hey guys, Steinixos here.
So today, we'll be discussing the Hie Hie no Mi Devil Fruit. Specifically, we'll explore what a fully mastered and unrestricted Hie Hie no Mi could look like. Now, as many of you probably already know, the Hie Hie no Mi is the ice, or more specifically, the chill Logia type devil fruit. This means that upon consuming this fruit, the user becomes an ice human, gaining the ability to create, control, and transform into ice. Now, there are certain powers that are staples in almost every series featuring a power system. One of the most popular is fire, which is unsurprising given that fire is both destructive and visually dynamic, making it a natural fit for battle-focused stories. However, its polar opposite, ice, which is also usually present, often receives less attention. Personally, I've always been a huge fan of ice-based powers. They've always felt incredibly cool to me, pun intended. And in One Piece, Aokiji is one of my favorite characters, despite some of his more dubious actions in the recent storyline. And as an admiral, his mastery of the Ice Devil Fruit has already proven to be incredibly powerful. For example, he can casually freeze 2 island-sized tsunamis or freeze 4 days worth of walking distance of the ocean in an instant. He also permanently froze over and changed the climate of half the island of Punk Hazard as a mere byproduct of his fight with Akainu. So there's already plenty here to unpack, making his abilities impressive enough on their own. However, the potential for ice mastery at an unrestricted level could go much higher. So let's dive into discussing just that. Now, a fundamental aspect of a Logia user's toolkit is their ability to create constructs out of their element. This can range from static constructs, such as the Ice Sword and Ice Spears created by Kuzan himself, to more animated constructs, like the creation of crows with the Sutsut fruit, or the clones generated by the Light Fruit. This ability isn't even exclusive to Logia users. We've seen Paramecia users exhibit similar feats. Doflamingo, for instance, creates string clones using the String fruit, while Cracker produces animated biscuit warriors with the Biscuit fruit. So for this discussion, we won't delve into the fact that even at a basic level, the ice fruit should easily be capable of creating constructs across this entire spectrum, from inanimate objects to animated entities. Now, even though the ice fruit may not offer the same diversity of abilities as something like the plant fruit, it makes up for this at higher levels of mastery with its precision of control. At the basic level, the ice fruit is typically used to freeze opponents entirely. And don't get me wrong, this is undeniably impressive, especially since the freezing process often makes the opponent's body far more brittle, allowing them to be shattered more easily, as seen with Jozu's arm. However, at more advanced levels of control, the ice user can selectively choose what they freeze. For example, Iceman demonstrates this when he selectively makes the air around an opponent so cold that it damages their throat upon inhalation. The same principle can extend to internal organs, as seen when Iceman froze his father's heart, or lowered the temperature of Hummingbird's brain. Taken to the extreme, an ice user could even freeze the blood flow to specific organs, such as the brain, as shown in a confrontation with Emma Frost. Or, as seen against Legion, they could go further by selectively freezing every water molecule in an opponent's body. Furthermore, another fundamental aspect of any temperature-based power is the question, how hot or cold can it get? Now, much like the flame fruit, this hasn't been explicitly explored in the One Piece story so far. The most significant example we've seen is the aftermath on Punk Hazard, where the ice fruit caused half the island to remain frozen even 2 years after Kuzan's battle with Akainu. And while this is undoubtedly impressive, an unrestricted ice fruit could push the limits much further. For instance, Iceman has demonstrated the ability to freeze an entire planet in one night, or even literally freeze hell itself. That's undeniably dope. But things become even more intriguing when we consider the power from a conceptual perspective. People often forget that coldness is essentially just the absence of heat, akin to how darkness is the absence of light. As something gets colder, you're essentially removing energy, specifically kinetic energy, which causes particles to slow down. This principle opens up fascinating possibilities. For example, Captain Cold uses this concept to create a kinetic energy absorption area, or what he calls a cold field. This field can do things like suspend objects such as bottles or bullets mid-air, It even acts as an invisible barrier that freezes opponents solid if they cross it, all while leaving the user unharmed. Taken to its extreme, at the coldest theoretical temperature, absolute zero, a highly skilled ice user like Esdeath from Akame ga Kill can slow things down so much that they can even stop time itself. Pretty crazy, right? Now, when you really think about it, perhaps the most fundamental aspect of a Logia user is their physiological integration with their element. At the most basic level, this means they literally are their element. And, as I explained in my unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi video, this principle allows Logias, at an unrestricted level, to adopt different Logia states, such as a flower petal Logia state for a nature Logia. For the ice fruit, this integration can be explored based on the composition of ice. You see, since ice is made of water, a high-tier ice user can actually control water as well. We see this demonstrated by Iceman, who is able to convert ice into water and manipulate it. Similarly, because water droplets are present in the air, he can condense hot air to create rain, effectively dousing the Human Torch's flames. This principle also extends to his own body, granting him an extraordinary degree of control. For example, he can make himself immune to poisons by replacing all the water molecules in his body. Additionally, he can adopt a water vapor Logia form, making him invulnerable to vaporization attacks, as he can simply reform using moisture in the surrounding area. So interestingly, there actually is a water Logia devil fruit. It just needs to be unlocked. Now, I could say much more about an unrestricted ice fruit, such as the ability to freeze even energy-based attacks, as seen with Iceman, freezing energy-based I-beams, or the ability to steal body heat from an opponent, another skill demonstrated by Killer Frost. There's also the potential to control heat gradients through convection currents by cooling air or blocking the chemical reactions involved in generating heat. However, we won't dive into all of that because by now, you should have a pretty solid idea of what a fully mastered and unrestricted ice fruit could look like. But anyway, that's the video guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyway, see you guys next time.